So all that filing essentially scuffed up the surface to make it all kind of frosted looking, and then as you can see I just kind of shaved the top down, and that should help disperse the light a little better. That's pretty much all there is to that. Positive leg, negative leg, let's get this back in place. I think you can probably see that the difference is really significant. You lose that distinct circle of a hot spot up there, and everything has become much more diffused. The light still does not reach to the end. Now if I were to do this a second time, maybe I'd put well, some oranges would be nice in the corners there if blue is in the center. But one each at each point. There's no point in dirtying up the clear plastic with LED tape, because it'd lose all of its essential character, if this can be said to be character. I still don't know about this stand, whether I like it or not. It's definitely a hassle to put together, but it does its job. And now, while everything was really flimsy before, there's some really good stability on here, and you can hear me cracking this little end here, so I don't want to do that too much. But really, the ring itself has lost all of its wobble pretty much, and overall it's a pretty solid piece. So definitely a nice thing. There are a few tricks that I learned on this that would definitely help out were I to build this model again. Were I to do it again, now that I've seen Defiant docked up to this, it would be no difficulty whatsoever to simply run positive and negative leads out of here going into that. What else? And I suppose if it's not at warp, actually, you wouldn't even necessarily have to light it up, except for maybe some white LEDs for any windows, especially if you're going to paint it, of course. What else? I suppose one last test power, and we'll go from there. Like I said, this should be relatively easy overall. I'll definitely get the camera going when I put the glue down. Hopefully I can get a better angle than dead on top, because it could probably use a 3/4 view from over here, I bet. And unless you think there's something going on here that you didn't know about, I did accidentally melt a little of the plastic here. I encased this first part of wire in some clear heat shrink that I happen to have around. The idea behind that being that I wanted the wires to remain confined to each other, and I didn't want to use black up here simply because it's clear and I don't have any white heat shrink. Otherwise I would have done that to hide the black and red color of the wire. So I just went with the clear, and with that in place I then went and put a big thing of black along here, because this length of wire actually needs to run along the base here for just a little bit, and I keep cracking that stand there. I gotta stop doing that. So yeah, the idea here is going to be to push the wire as far back as possible into the end, and then the black will be hopefully as flat as possible along the base here, and I am just about ready to sneeze my head off. So once the wire's in place, I'll just finish dragging it through. I'll hold this down so the glue sets really well. I should set the camera up for this one quick shot, and then I think this model is finally done. I wouldn't mind hanging it from a wall, but I wouldn't be able to hang it from a wall with this stand. I would have to attach this stand to a larger stand, I think. Simply because of the electronics and all that. And now that I'm thinking of it, the fact that the wiring goes to this stand and then would go to another one beneath it kind of sucks. Well, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, and this base does need a good microfiber non-lint going over. It looks like I scratched it right there. I may be able to polish that out. That shouldn't be a problem. Wow, before I knew it, I was applying glue along the bottom of this and starting to feed the wire in through here, and I realized, hey, I never set the camera tripod up. Crap. So, whoops. At this point, I just need a little more wire to come through. Alright, and now, this is basically a one-shot, winner-take-all kind of situation. I can't touch the surface. Oops, and it looks like I need to have a little more wire coming through the bottom, which complicates it just a little. So one of the tricks is that I have to hide the hole that the wire is coming through, which went off center, and I was hoping it was going to be a lot more graceful than it was. But at this point, I think we go there don't seem to be any glue marks, oddly. Well, it looks like it took a second for the glue to drip down to the base, but it looks like it's there now, in a couple spots at least. So I'm going to have to let this sit a while before I futz with it. I don't want to screw anything up. I suppose if I hold it by its side, I may be able to drip a little bit of glue down one of these edges here to help out. But otherwise, I think just letting it sit is probably going to be the best thing to do. Filling it up with some kind of clear silicone, that could be an option, I guess, but nope, let's just let it sit here. So I think this might be it. I'll get a video of just the beauty passes when it's fully done. I probably want to let this sit for a day or so just to let it get used to things. I don't think I want to wire it until then. So I'll just leave it alone. So I think that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. See ya. How's that for a funky look? It's not quite all that blue in person, but it really looks beautiful on video. That's kind of crazy. Definitely not as distinctly blue as this is. Oh, pretty sweet.